Section 3 is all about your questions. Now, Dan had just been asked how you find the personnel, where you find the people to make this happen. As we get to that question, let's bring it on home.
Well, I would look within your staff to see who has these skills. Is there someone on your staff who already has some web skills? And if not, there's web designers out there that are probably slow, and maybe you can, work out an arrangement with them to do some sites on the side. But I would look within your own staff, and then I would run house ads and get your leads coming in. The only other thing I would say is this takes up a ton of my time. I mean, I'm really leading up that. When that phone call comes in, I'm doing the most of the meetings. Barbara Perry on our staff does a lot of those. So I mean, you need someone at a little bit of a higher level to be able to have a marketing conversation with a customer. It's not a sales rep sitting there. They might be there if they brought the lead in, but you need someone who can have a higher level conversation. That's probably going to be your biggest challenge of who's going to do that.
I agree 100%. That's exactly the way to do it. And I think most people will be surprised how much talent they have sitting in their comp room that's just making up 1, 2, 4 color quarter page ads that really, really can put some of this stuff together. We're always amazed when we challenge our staff how well they do, it's just amazing. So they're there, and if they're not, we all know you have the best media in the market to get people. Put an ad in.
Yeah, if you think of those freelancers who are out there designing websites on their own, they could benefit incredibly from the credibility that your publication and your stature in the marketplace has, and you can hitchhike on their skills as well. So that's also another opportunity for them, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Man, we're killing that time limit that we set on ourselves. But there are some more questions out here that I know some people want to get to. A couple of them, some of these I think were already answered after they were asked. But there was a question here about leads, and the question was when your clients, I'm trying to paraphrase this so that it makes sense, but when these new clients, especially the ones outside your market, did they come from existing advertisers? I thought I heard Dan say a lot of these things came literally from house ads in the paper, but is there a formula or something, or did you find for finding clients outside your market?
I mean, mine, I probably should analyze it better, but it's probably 50% of them at least are completely non-advertisers. I don't know how well this is showing up on the screen. It's kind of small, but this is a sheet metal manufacturer that, we did this brochure for him. We've got that food processor I was mentioning earlier. And their paper, they live in your community, and they're reading their paper, and there it is. We can help you with all your marketing needs. Envision Marketing Group. Well, we got some of the verbiage on our homepage here. We know you're passionate about your line of work, but you're too busy to spend your time thinking about marketing. That's where we can help you. Blah blah blah. And those ads work, and you go a couple of weeks where you don't get any calls, and then all of a sudden you'll get a call, and it's like, wow, is that Corando calling us? I mean, they're a big company in town, and I'm like, they're calling us. This is awesome, but they're reading your paper at home.
Yeah, I concur. We found our leads through our house ads, through doing referrals. We do a good job for one client, and they all talk. Who does your marketing? I really like your stuff. I'm gonna get a completely up market. The other thing we're finding is it's about relationships as well, because a lot of these companies, these marketing people move around, and some of the bigger clients we have, we had the relationship with the person that ended up taking another job somewhere, so we kept the one where they were at, and now we have the new one. And and that happens with age of your agency, because that just takes time, because people move around, you develop relationships. And we picked up quite a few large accounts because we had a good relationship with the company that person was with before.
With the sales staff part of it, I mean, I try to go to the meetings, once or twice a month, and just bring in new things that we're doing. We've been talking to them about web for a long time, and now like last week, I did a whole thing on search engine optimization, and I know a lot of it goes over their head, but then all of a sudden they're like, hey, can you come with me next Tuesday? So and so interested in us talking about web optimization. And so we're I'd say most of our reps have brought in very good leads that have turned into very good customers, and those are reminder customers, newspaper customers. And some of your reps just don't get it, and others, are more comfortable with it. But it's, you have to continually train them and keep talking about it so that they at least, if they pick up half of the buzzwords that they can say when they're out there. And I just tell them, look, they're going to say, hey, just ask the question, what are you doing to improve your web, your Google rankings? And the customer will say, well, nothing. How can you help me? And you say, well, I'm not even sure myself, but we've got a whole staff, at Envision Marketing and Reminder Web Design. If you want, I can have someone come out and talk to you about it, because I'm not expecting the rep to sell it. I'm just trying to get them to sell the appointment. That's their only job, is bring the appointment in.
Right. You build off of your rep's credibility. That's a perfect way to do it.
Yeah, that's actually, you just answered a question that hadn't been asked yet. I think that might answer the question about the difference of the sales pitch between the traditional media and not. This wouldn't be a group of publishers if there weren't a ton of questions about compensation. Now, do you pay your staff differently who work on the web designs and the agency work as the folks who and do they also do work just for your conventional newspaper customers?
The sales staff, we do pay less on the marketing stuff. If it's something we're doing, like a block of time where we're doing all those services, they're getting the regular, we pay 10% commission. But if it's like a billboard placement or placement in other media, the markup on that is less, and so the rep is getting less. Goes down to as far as 2.5% on some of the stuff, 5% on some of the stuff. It depends on our markup.
Okay. Now, your artists, are they paid a different rate for this kind of work as opposed to conventional newspaper work, or are they even involved in that anymore?
My goal is the web people, like I have one web designer, she is not involved, and she never touches a newspaper ad ever. And then the other one, half her week, Monday, Tuesday, and half of Wednesday, she does web stuff. Then she literally switches seats. I'm kind of big on trying to physically separate them, and if I had, a separate office, I'd put them in it. I just don't have that, but I physically have my web people in one spot. And then, but no, they're not at a different rate. But I do, duke them out, and I slip them bonuses here and there or whatever if we land a big thing. I do try to take care of them.
Got it. Okay, as we anticipated, we're killing this time limit we set for ourselves. I think we got most of this pretty well handled. The one question I know that and I know there are questions or maybe some follow-ups that some of you would ask. Dan and Mark were kind enough to put their contact information up there. If you have some questions for them, or if you have my information from before, If you have some questions for me that I can get to them, be happy to do. That's what this whole 2020 business is about. One thing that came up in our conversations about this as we were planning it, and that is that most everyone in our listenership here are seeing statistics that an increasing number of local dollars are being reallocated from local print to online. Everybody's seeing that, right? But we're also seeing reports that those new online dollars aren't necessarily being spent for what you and I would think of as ad placement. As much as 65% of those dollars ostensibly are going into back office work like website building, search engine optimization, the same things that Dan and Mark are talking about. Now, does that pretty much match up with your experience, Dan and Mark?
Yeah, and in fact, I was just talking to the salespeople about this week. The yellow pages used to kind of eat our lunch a lot, and they would wrap up people for a year's worth of a contract, and then the books started dying, so they kind of fell off on my radar. They're back on my radar in a big way, because what they're doing now is they're saying, hey, we can get you to the top of Google. They're not selling a printed book anymore. They're selling Google, basically. And they're saying, we'll get you to the top of Google, and it's $300 a month, and you get a website, and if you already have a website, doesn't matter, because we're going to get you to the top of Google. And that's I run into that. I was out with 2 reps last week. In both of those cases, that was the first thing that the customer said, like, yeah, we almost signed up with Yellow Pages, so how are you guys different? And so if you don't think they're out getting dollars, believe me, they are. And I don't know if you've seen the ads on TV now. I think it's Yellow Book or something, where they're basically, it's all talking about these different web services that they can do for you. Or agency services, basically.
Okay.
Bob, I think you hit it on the head. You see a lot of this money going to the web stuff, and just realizing that we have most of the tools as publishers. We have most of the tools that can take it back. We're not going to lose it to a Yellow Book anymore, except the way Dan said, the way we used to. We have the people that can do it. We have the designers. We have, with one ad, we can pull in a web designer that can it can be less threatening. I guess is the word I'm trying to say. The words I'm trying to say. It's less threatening. We have the opportunity there. We're not going to just lose it all to the internet. We can help. We can offer services. It's just not traditional.
Okay. Now, it's amazing how much we've held this audience over the amount of time we've gone over where we said we would go. But just to sum up here, in the meantime, what have we learned? Okay, if you're looking for a way to expand beyond your traditional market, you don't want to add circulation, or if you want to recapture some of those dollars that are moving from local print budgets to online initiatives, the business models Mark and Dan suggest could very well be the way to go. Now, if you want to explore this further, get in touch with one of us. We'll try to get you some help. Now, another question came up here. The plan is for recordings of these 2020 sessions to be available online. Now, I'm going to warn you up front that because Citrix, the GoToMeeting people, are so incomprehensibly bad on the recording end of this, we're working with a lot of third-party applications. So at this point, the recorded sessions are a crapshoot, but we'll keep you posted on how well that goes. The best way to be sure you don't miss anything is to be here for each session. So with that in mind, put it on your calendar for Monday, February 20th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, when we reconvene IFPA's 2020 Industry Insights. In the meantime, this is Bob Munn speaking for Mark Helmer, Dan Buendo, and the entire IFPA Board of Directors, and saying, hey, it's still just a 12:15 Eastern, and even earlier in the other time zones. Still plenty of time to get out there today and make some money for your customers. Have a great day, everybody, and thanks for stopping in.
Thanks, Bob. That was very impressive, Bob. Talk to y'all later.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.